Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. Happy Monday to you, and we have got to get the week kicked off here for Raid Shadow Legends on the channel. So we're going to talk about everything going on in game, including the CvC starting tomorrow, the shard events that are going to be happening starting tomorrow, what we expect to happen this weekend, and get you full context for the week launch on Raid Shadow Legends. Let's get into it. Alrighty, now first of all, let's pull up the expected events calendar over on the right, and this weekend is going to be November 11th when we hit Friday, so that will mean that we have got 2x voids scheduled for this weekend if Plarium goes by their normal rotation. So be careful if you're going to be YOLOing a bunch of voids for CvC points or for the 10x going on that is going to be launching tomorrow for CvC, that you are going to be getting 2x voids this weekend. And as always, when they do a CvC, there is going to be 2 different 10x events going on. So everything's going to be perfectly normal for what you would expect. Tomorrow, we're going to be getting a 10x for Masha LED. And then the next day on Wednesday, we are going to be getting a Void 10x for Solus. So first up for tomorrow's 10x around Masha LED, if you happen to be pulling shards during CvC, Masha LED is a great champion. Everybody's pretty familiar with him. He was a little bit of a raid history 101 that we like to do here on the channel. Masha LED was regarded as the worst legendary in the game by a lot of people in the community. And then he got a super big buff and became, at the time of his buff, he probably became a top 10, top 15 legendary. Now he's somewhere in that like top 20, top 25-ish maybe. Depends on who you ask, legendary in the game. But he's got an amazing A2 that's going to be speed for the whole team and increased crit damage, so going to be a great option for lots of unkillable compositions out there for the Demon Lord. But he also does a 2-turn True Fear on the same ability. So this A2 Tornado is a ridiculously strong ability here on an A2, and he also does other stuff. He can hit decently hard if he has the damage to do so with the open wounds right here, but people usually build him for more utility than damage. And then he's also got the A1 that will heal himself, but 90% of his value as a champion is in the A2. So Masha LED, definitely a very solid legendary and a decent choice for the 10x around CvC. And then the other 10x going on during CvC is going to be for Void Shards, and it is going to be for Solus. Now, a couple things to take note of here out the gate is that this will not be live for the first day of CvC. This will be on day 2 on Wednesday, and also 10x events are much more impactful for Void champions. So if you're chasing a 10x champion and it's a Void, it's going to be a lot more likely to proc the effect of that 10x because there's a lot less Void champions as opposed to non-Void champions, obviously. The quick thoughts on Solus are, I don't have him, so I haven't personally had a whole lot of experience for him or with him. I can pull up the Voids tier list here, and you can see that we've got Solus kind of in that damage dealer tier in the arena with Ethos, with Torment and stuff like that, right here kind of in this next tier of like really solid champions, but maybe not the game changers of like S+ where they completely change your account and really help you stomp other people in PvP and all that type of stuff. So Solus, a very solid champion. He's an above average Void legendary, but he's not really regarded as like a top 5, top 10 Void Lego or anything. So I doubt that the fervor is going to be crazy in pulling for the 10x for Solus, but he's definitely a fun one. I would probably recommend, if you're close to Mercy on Voids, maybe hold off until we can get somebody at least in the top 2 tiers, when you can get like a Leorius 10x or a Krigia, a new insane Void Lego, something like that. I don't know that for most accounts out there, you're going to run yours maybe differently. For most accounts out there, I would probably hold off on YOLOing a bunch of Voids for Solus, especially like we said earlier in the intro, that we're going to be getting 2x Voids, probably 99% likelihood this weekend. And obviously, we are getting within the last few days of the Morrigan Fusion. The final tabulation that I'm able to get here on the community is 18% of people that are really dedicated to trying hard to fuse Morrigan. Now, because YouTube viewers that participate in a poll on a Raid Shadow Legends channel are probably going to lean towards being more dedicated players than the average casual person, I'm going to guess that this percentage is probably closer to 10% of the player base that actively went after Morrigan, which I would say is probably a huge whiff and a miss for Plarium. So hopefully we get a really hyped fusion for the holiday season and get a really hyped up winter theme champion that's actually something that people really want to go after. Like Mighty Uko was a pretty hyped up event. Hopefully we get something a little bit similar to that instead of the last couple like Marinix and Morrigan that they've been coming out with. But I will do a video here on the channel with a fully maxed out Morrigan and testing her and doing the grades and all of that. So for those of you that are getting Morrigan in the next couple days, you will have a dedicated video here on the channel explaining my final thoughts on her grades and kind of showcasing her in her maximum capacity. Then one other quick note about fusion. So Plarium usually does these at about once a month. They do about 13 fusions a year. And typically this is the busiest time of the year for fusions. They obviously like to do a fusion for Halloween and for the Christmas holiday season to wrap up the year. But what they've done a lot of times is they try to squeeze in a quick one here at this time frame, like in the early to middle part of November. They try to sneak in like last year they did a fusion for an Epic in Vildrax, who was a fear champion that was supposed to be kind of used in the Hydra to place the AoE fear and stuff as an Epic option to do that. So don't be surprised if they try to sneak in a fusion really quick here before we move into the winter holiday season, when they're going to do a champion probably like Pixie or Sir Nick and that kind of like winter theme. So could be a busy couple weeks coming up here with the CvC and the 2x voids, and if they try to sneak in a fusion right out the gate here before the holiday season. And also in other news, we're able to see the faction tournaments poll results and how those all came out in the community. What they did was they hosted a poll and you could vote for which faction you would want to take into battle for these different dungeons. And the way that it broke down was the Fire Knight came down to the Demon Spawn, which is not surprising with champions like Allure in there. And then the breakdown of the Spider's Den ended up being the Dark Elves. Again, Cold Heart, that's going to be a nice one there for the Spider that a lot of people use for the Terminator suppression, and Cold Hearts use a lot in the Fire Knight as well. Then the Night Revenants won the Dragon's Lair, and the Undead won the Ice Golem's Peak. So look forward to those starting over the course of the next week, 12 days or so. November 19th is the last one. And then they also say, in addition, they're going to be running a special tournament focused on Classic Arena starting on Friday, November 11th, all the way up until the 17th. So almost a week-long arena tournament. And you are going to be getting the Cold Heart Heroic Necrobia skin if you can finish first in that tournament for centered around the Classic Arena starting on November 11th. Which is going to be this skin right here. Now, Plarium does a great job on the aesthetics and the skins for sure. The Necrobia skin is going to be a fun one. I like when they put them in tournaments and events just to add that little spice on top instead of like selling them for $40. So anyway, keep an eye on that tournament here starting in a few days if you're interested in collecting some of the cosmetics. And then this is the other skin if you were curious there for Cold Heart. For the tournaments that are going on in game, you can see right here, this is going to be the faction tournament where you've got the Demon Spawn tournament centered around the polling that they did in the community, and that'll be starting here in a couple days around the Fire Knight. So we're going to have to do a video here on the channel talking about Demon Spawn Fire Knight and start theory crafting teams in case this tournament ends up being something worth doing. And then you can see that this is the Morrigan fusion. You want to make sure you got your rare from there if you are doing it. And then a tag team arena tournament starting in a couple days. That's perfectly normal, and you don't have to worry about, you could skip that one if you would like. And then the only events that are live right now are Dungeon Divers and Artifact Enhancement centered around the Morrigan fusion. So you want to focus on that as well over the next day and a half to make sure you are keeping pace if you're participating in the Morrigan fusion. Now let's pop into the shop and see if there's anything worth going over here. The dungeon pack is nothing great in my opinion. No, those are not great. Let's see. The monthly pack is decent in terms of regular offers. It's one of the better ones you're gonna get. I only like the mini mix packs when they're the 101% extra. They're technically decent value, but I like to hold off for the 101% extra ones. This pack string, I mean, if you're a high spender that's serious about finishing the Morrigan stuff and you're close, then it would make sense. But otherwise, it's not a great offer. And then obviously the faction accessories one is not going to cut it. So alrighty, good luck if you are going to be pulling shards for Martial Ed or Soulless, and good luck in your CvC matches. Those are going to start tomorrow. So also some quick tips on the way out. Don't do your Faction Wars today when it resets. You want to wait until CvC is live. So don't be doing like your Faction Wars runs tonight. You can miss out on a few thousand points that are for free in CvC just by waiting until the next day, like after you sleep or something. Wait for CvC to go live and then do things like fight in the tag team arena and run your CvC. So calm down a little bit tonight, wait for CvC to go live. But yeah, so anyway, tomorrow going to be doing another creator hangout. Last week was a lot of fun. The first time was a lot of success. We had a lot of people show up like Layla and Smiley and Jay Giggs and Darth Micro and Mad Capper and lots of people hanging out in the chat there. Deadwood Jedi, you know, I hate it when I forget people. I'm trying to mention everybody, but yeah, I ended up posting the whole thing here on the channel, and I'll try to do that every week. And I'm also, you know, I'm learning that, you know, last week was the first episode, and I got some feedback from the first episode. If we do a quiz, I need to have an ability to get the questions on the VOD, which is really tough to do from my end, but I'm going to try to figure out a way to do that. And then also, I think the content creators get a little bit too distracted by doing the quiz, so maybe I'll have the quiz be like just for the viewers, because then we can't really talk very much about different topics if the content creators I'm having come hang out are distracted by the quiz. So I don't know, we'll see. And then also I had a few of you asking like, why isn't so-and-so there? Like, why isn't Hell Hades there? Why isn't Scratch there? Why isn't like, so I just want you to know that all these people are invited. No one is like excluded. Obviously there's like 40 content creators in Raid, so it's really hard to get all of them there for one event. But these people like Hell Hades and Nubs and anybody that wants to join is welcome to come hang out with us. That's totally fine. So it just ends up kind of being who's available at that time and wants to hang out can kind of come chill for an episode of us hanging out once a week. So that's kind of the gist of all of that and all the other stuff going on. I'm going to work on a Morrigan video soon for those of you that are fusing her, so keep an eye out for that, and remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content. I'll see you soon in the next video, and also the creator hangout that we'll be doing tomorrow for episode 2. So thanks for watching. Have a great start to your week. Peace.